Greetings. I'm Anthony F. Elmore, President and Founder of the Proud Black Buddhist World Association. We at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association practice the Buddhist teachings as taught by the 13th century Japanese sage Nichiren Shonin. The word Nichiren means sun lotus, and the word Shonin means priest. Now, the way that we learn the Buddhist teachings is via what is called the Gosho. The Gosho are letters that Nichiren wrote to his disciples to teach them Buddhism. Now, Nichiren follows the teachings of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Now, the Buddha Shakyamuni, who lived in India, taught his highest teachings was that of the Lotus Sutra. And we at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association place the Lotus Sutra as paramount. And today we bring you an exciting Buddhist lecture. Now, our lecture today is called Tina Turner and Buddhism, a New Way to Pray. Now, there is a Gosho that Nichiren wrote that tells our story, how we are associated with Tina Turner and Buddhism, and it kind of explains our story. So it's called The True Aspect of All Phenomena. Now, in this Gosho, it reads, one becomes a votary of the Lotus Sutra by virtue of one's practice and past existences. It is karmic relationships that determine which among the many trees are made into images of the Buddha. It also becomes karma that some become statues of Buddhas of provisional teachings. Now, we are members of the Proud Black Buddhist World Association because we have a karmic relationship to be a part of the World Black Buddhist Association, and we have a karmic relationship with Tina Turner, or a karmic relationship with the New Way to Pray. Now, let us move from about 1974. 1974 is the time when Tina Turner began to practice Buddhism. Now we move 42 years to 2016. Now, Tina Turner was born just less than an hour's drive from this house here in Memphis, Tennessee, and she was born in a place called Nutbush, Tennessee. Now, Tina Turner became an NSA or a Nichiren Shonin Buddhist, and Tina learned a new way to pray. Now, first, let us look at Tina Turner in her own words tell how she learned and began to practice Buddhism. Let's listen to Tina Turner, and we're going to come back and continue this lecture.
I see it as more a philosophy of life, and that one is trying to move to that stage of belief in order to live the life. My transition from childhood belief in spirituality and in Baptist church, when I started to practice Buddhism, I realized that another thinking arrived, and that was what I call philosophy, more science of life. The words that I was saying, when I looked up to find out what am I saying, I know with the Lord's Prayer, I'm asking for help, you are the divine. But I needed something else more than that at the time. So practicing Buddhism took me beyond the Lord's Prayer into another form of prayer that took care of my daily needs at the time. It took care of really the stress. It verbalized that life is about stress and anger and all of the influences of life. Took care of those where at the time of doing the Lord's Prayer, I'd never really learned really what it meant except Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Buddhism took me to another place, I feel, and as an older woman coming from a young girl. However, I still do both. I do the Lord's Prayer, and then I do my chanting.
This lecture is called Tina Turner and a New Way to Pray. Now, we are the proud Black Buddhists. Now, let me explain to you exactly what is the proud Black Buddhist. We challenge the image and notion that Buddhism is an Asian religion. More importantly, we fight for the dignity and inclusion of Black people to practice, promote, and teach Buddhism independent of an Asian Buddhist paradigm that extricate all Black history, culture, and language from the Buddhist teachings. One has only to look at the hair of most Buddhist statues and you will see that the Buddha was a man of African descent. Now, we are the proud Black Buddhist World Association, and we have a clear-cut, non-Asian Buddhist tradition started by Black Buddhist Tina Turner. Now, Tina Turner is the most noted Buddhist in the Western world, and Tina never associated the Tina Turner brand with Asian Buddhism. When Tina got married in 2013, she decided not to have a Buddhist wedding. She toured Japan twice, and Tina Turner never took a photograph with any Asian Buddhist leader. Tina Turner met the Dalai Lama, but she did not take a picture with him. Tina Turner was once an SGI Nichiren Shonin Buddhist, and she never took a picture with the SGI leader Daisaki Keita or any Nichiren Shonin high priest or any Buddhist priest for that matter. Now, I want you to look at a picture in me and Tina, because in November of 1984, I had the opportunity to take a picture with Tina Turner, and Tina Turner actually signed a picture for us to NSA or its Buddhist meeting. So we have a relationship with Tina Turner. In fact, my first girlfriend's mother was married to Tina Turner's uncle, Mr. John Bullock. You know, Tina Turner's name was Annie Mae Bullock. In fact, Mr. Bullock's son, John and I, we're still friends, and John was just here at this house last year. In fact, John sent me a picture, and I said, John, send me a picture so if Tina Turner ever sees this, one of my videos, she would know that there's a relationship and who you are. Now, John sent me the picture. I can't get to the picture just right away, but I think John says her daddy's brother was I think her name was Mamie Vincent, and John sent me a picture of her auntie and Tina. They were all together, so Tina would know her auntie, so I'm related to Tina Turner that way. Certainly when I was a young child, my big sister Doris used to imitate Tina Turner. She used to sing Tina Turner, and I want you to see a picture that before Tina Turner became an international star, she used to come right here to Memphis, Tennessee, and used to sing at a club on Georgia Avenue, just down the street, called the Club Paradise, and it was a review called the Ike and Tina Turner Review. So we have a long and protracted and extended relationship with Tina Turner. Now, let us be clear. With all of the soul Tina Turner has, it's no doubt that Tina Turner is black. It is also no doubt that Tina Turner is a proud Buddhist. Is there anyone in the world who can deny the fact that Tina Turner is not a proud Black Buddhist. We never said that Tina was a member of our proud Black Buddhist World Association. However, Tina Turner is inherently a part of the proud Black Buddhist family. Now, the bottom line regarding proud Black Buddhists is Tina Turner who holds the banner for us at the proud Black Buddhist World Association. Now, let me explain to you how Tina holds the banner for us at the proud Black Buddhist World Association. Just last week, we had an online Buddhist meeting, and a lady from Tallahassee, Florida, I think her name was Jacqueline, she joined in our Buddhist meeting online, and we were meeting various people and asked them how they became involved in Buddhism and how did they come connected with the proud Black Buddhist World Association. And I think Jacqueline says, wow, I saw the Tina Turner movie, and I became inspired and motivated to join the Buddhist religion because of Tina Turner. Through the years, we have met so many people. So many people have become inspired because of the Tina Turner movie. And really, you got these Black women that's out there that's practicing Buddhism. They want to learn Buddhism, and they believe and they are inspired by Tina Turner. And it's a good thing that Tina Turner is a proud Black Buddhist, and you got other Black women. And I'm sure white women are inspired by her, but as far as Black people are concerned, Tina Turner is a hero, and Black people are inspired to learn Buddhism. And that's something, because in the Black community, we are traditional Christians, and the idea that someone would move over to the Buddhist faith, it takes a whole lot, and it's because of the relationship, or the karmic relationship that Tina Turner has with so many people. Now, let us be clear that Tina Turner joined the NSA SGI Nichiren Shonin Buddhist set in 1974. Tina Turner in 2016 has no formal association with any Buddhist association. In 2014, Tina Turner turned what I call rogue. She came out with a new Buddhist association, or a new Buddhist propagation video and album called Beyond. Tina Turner reached back into her Black culture, and she sings the song Amazing Grace, and she connects Buddhism with the Black culture and upbringing. The more you look at Tina Turner, the more she sounds like an unofficial spokesperson for the proud Black Buddhist World Association. Now, our lecture and lesson today is Tina Turner, the New Buddhist Way. Now, where can individuals who desire to learn Buddhism in the tradition of Tina Turner find a Buddhist teacher? The SGI Buddhist organization, even in 2016, claimed Tina Turner. You see Tina Turner with a stature of Buddha Shakyamuni. The SGI nor the Nichiren Shonin Buddhist organizations consider Shakyamuni as the Buddha. But it is Tina Turner who rejected the idea, like we of the Proud Black Buddhist Association, that Nichiren Shonin is the Buddha. Nichiren says that he was Bodhisattva Superior Practices, or Bodhisattva Jogyo, and Nichiren Shonin has the highest and the ultimate respect for the Buddha Shakyamuni. And Nichiren considers himself not the eternal Buddha, but he considers himself Bodhisattva Superior Practices. And certainly you see Tina Turner with a Buddha statue, and it shows that Tina Turner is associated with the Buddha Shakyamuni. Now, one of the things that you never see, Tina Turner met with the Dalai Lama, and Tina Turner never took a picture with the Dalai Lama, nor did she take a picture with the SGI leader Daisaki Keita, she never let any Japanese prostitute her the Tina Turner brand. The Tina Turner brand has always been a Buddhist. She's always been a proud Black Buddhist woman, and we're so proud of her. And we call this lecture Tina Turner Way of Buddhism. Now, it's not the Tina Turner way of Buddhism. However, we did this lecture because there are so many people out there that want to learn Buddhism the way Tina Turner learned Buddhism. Now, for those of you who are interested in learning Buddhism in the tradition of Turner, we at the Proud Black Buddhists can help you. In 1974, Tina became a Nichiren Buddhist, and she began her Buddhist practice not only chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Tina learned a new way to pray. Now, the first thing that we teach you about a new way to pray, and we at the Proud Black Buddhist Association teach you that in this Buddhism, you do not have to reject the concept of God, but chanting is the way to teach you how to embrace God. How do we Proud Black Buddhists embrace God? Let's look at a scene in the Tina Turner movie where she learns how to chant, and she wants to know what she is saying. She says in the movie, I don't know what I'm saying. But Tina had a strong Christian upbringing, and she did not want to give away God. She did not want to give up God, but she wanted to know. And she practiced Buddhism in a way where she could embrace and continue to embrace her Christian background along with Buddhism. Let's look at the scene from the movie. We're going to come back and continue this lecture. Let's look at a scene from the movie, I, Tina.
Share something with you.
This is what you were doing when I came up.
Yeah, it was. And I'd really like to finish it with you. Okay. Just follow me, Anna. Say these words with me. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Renge Kyo. Jackie, what? I don't know what I'm saying. It sounds.
I know it. It feels strange, but it's chanting. I'm a Buddhist now, and when you chant, Anna, you can see things clearly. It's like life's mirror, and when you can see yourself clearly, you can change anything. Come on, you want to try it with me? Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo,
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Hey, Frost. Turn the music up. Straight up.
In the movie scene, we see Tina's black friend light up the candle, and together they chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Now, what is vitally important in regards to becoming a Buddhist is having an object of worship and establishing a Buddhist practice. Now, let me revisit a point that I made earlier, and I said that we see Tina's black friend light up the candle and together they chant. This is the absolute key to becoming a Buddhist and learning Buddhism. Nichiren Shonin never said that you should join this organization or that organization to become a Buddha. Nichiren writes in the Go-Sho how to become a Buddha. Nichiren tells us in the Go-Sho, and it's called 3 Tripitaka Masters Pray for Rain. Now, Nichiren gives us the absolute best way how to attain Buddhahood. In the Go-Sho, Nichiren writes, quote, "Therefore, the best way to attain Buddhahood is to encounter a good friend. How far can our own wisdom take us? If we have enough wisdom to distinguish hot from cold, we should seek out a good friend." Unquote. He goes on further. But encountering a good friend is the possible hardest thing to do. For this reason, the Buddha likened it to the rarity of a one-eyed turtle floating on a log with a hollow in it, the right size to hold him, or to the difficulty of trying to lower a thread from the Brahma heaven and pass it through the eye of a needle on the earth. See, a friend is the hardest thing to find. We at the Proud Black Buddhists, what we are no religious organization, but we are a friend. And what is important is that the reason that I mentioned Tina's black friend is because at the time in Tina's life, she was living almost 100% in the black world, and her friends were all black. It was natural that she had a black friend to introduce her to Buddhism. Nichiren teaches us that the best way to attain Buddhahood is to encounter a good friend. In the world of Buddhism, there are Asians. However, in the black community, most black people encounter other black people, and it's important that black people have friends who they can encounter with who can teach them Buddhism. There is not a Japanese in the world who can speak to black people about Buddhism better than I can speak to black people about Buddhism, or there is not a Japanese in the world who has done more to introduce Buddhism to the black community. This has nothing to do with racism. This has everything to do with culture. There is not one single black singer in all of the world. There is not one independent Buddhist person outside of Asians. And so there needs to be black teachers and black preachers and black people. Most important is that everyone needs to encounter a good friend to learn Buddhism, because that's the way that the Buddhists teach us how to gain Buddhahood. Now in regards to Tina Turner had a friend who was an SGI Nichiren Shoshu NSA member, and she helped Tina to get a Gohonzon. Now, to chant and to learn Buddhism, it's really vitally important that you get a Gohonzon and that you set up an altar. Now, the Gohonzon is an object of worship. Now, I want you to look at a picture of Tina chanting to a Gohonzon. Now, this picture was in the November 1979 issue of Jet magazine. What was the most important thing that Tina's friend taught her about Buddhism? The most important word that Tina's friend taught her was the word Namu, or Nam. The word Namu, or Nam, means reverence or deep respect. We learn to have reverence for the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is the mind or life of the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni. Now, In relationship to Buddhism, the most important thing for a beginner to learn and understand is the word Namu or Nam. We explained that chanting is a new way to look at God. The word Namu means reverence. When you start to practice Nichiren Buddhism, you must adopt the spirit of Namu or reverence. Another name for Namu is single-minded. The most common definition for Namu is devotion. However, Namu means also to be awakened or amazed. Now, let us get into the concept of the mind. The mind is spiritual and exists in the realm of existence and non-existence, yet exhibits qualities of both. Words exist in the realm of physical, and you can feel the spirit of a person's mind in words. Now, the highest teachings of the Buddha Shakyamuni is the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is the mind of the Buddha. The mind of the Buddha manifests itself in the voice. If you want to connect to the mind of the Buddha, you connect via reciting the words of the Buddha via your voice. Now, Nichiren Shonin took the words of the Buddha and put them in sumi ink in a physical form. When your voice connects with the physical form of the Lotus Sutra, the mind of the Buddha connects to the spirit of the Buddha, or connect you with the Buddha nature within. Now, the key to waking up your Buddha nature is entering the storehouse or treasures, is chanting to the Gohonzon. Now, Myo means to open. What you have is the storehouse or the treasures. Imagine having a room full of treasures of gold. This treasure of gold is the storehouse. This is Myo. And Ho means the law. Ren means lotus. And Ge means lotus or cause. And Ge means effect. And Kyo means teachings. Now, the way that Tina Turner started to practice Buddhism, she had an object of worship. Look at the picture. You see Tina and her friend chanting. Now, this is my Buddhist altar. And this is a Buddhist altar. And the Japanese word is called a butsudan. Now, the most important thing about being a Buddhist and about connecting to Buddhism and to learn the Tina Turner way, the first thing you want to do is get a Gohonzon. You want to connect to a Gohonzon. Not this altar, but it's this object of worship. What Nichiren says, I, Nichiren, inscribe my life in sumi, so that you will know that the Buddha's will is the Lotus Sutra, and there is nothing supersedes Namu Myoho Renge Kyo to the ninth consciousness. See, now, this Gohonzon, this object called a Gohonzon, is our object of worship. This is the treasure tower of many treasures Buddha. This is the Lotus Sutra in a physical form, or a banner of the Lotus Sutra. This is the word and the mind of the Buddha. Nichiren Shonin says the Gohonzon is not his creation, but this is the Lotus Sutra depicting Shakyamuni Buddha. Now, if you are to learn Buddhism, you get this object of worship, which is an object, and you are a subject. A process happens called Kyo Chi Myogo, or fusion of the subject and object. Now, the first thing that we at the proud Black Buddhist World Association help others to get into the Buddhist practice, the first thing we want you to do, you can get a Gohonzon like right now. You see, let me explain how you can get a Gohonzon. See, what we want to introduce to you, what we call a cyber Gohonzon. You see right here? I don't know whether you can see this or not. You may have a problem seeing it, but let me walk up a little closer here to the camera. It may not be a good focus, but this is a Gohonzon. Now, the first thing that you could do to learn Buddhism and practice the Tina Turner way is to get a Gohonzon. Now, at the end of this lecture, we're going to post a link at the end of this lecture, and you can download the picture of a Gohonzon. And what you can do is that you can take a picture of a Gohonzon, you can get yourself a little television table and set it there and take a cup and set the phone beside the cup. You get you some water in a cup and you put the table in an area in your house and you create an altar. So what we are creating for you is a cyber Gohonzon. You can start right now and start to practice the Buddhist faith by setting up your own Buddhist altar, and you can use your cell phone and make a Gohonzon. The Gohonzon is in the cell phone. See, Nichiren enshrined the Gohonzon for all of humanity, and now that we have cell phones, we can carry our Gohonzon with us. This is called a cyber Gohonzon, and you can start right now. Now, although one may claim to be a member of this Nichiren Buddhist set or that Nichiren Buddhist set, it doesn't matter what Buddhist set you're with. The most important thing that you must understand about the Buddhist teachings, that the Buddha Shakyamuni says, the only way that you can gain interest to Buddhahood is through faith. That's the only way. You cannot learn through knowledge, but you must gain through faith. Now, there's a Gosho called The Real Aspect of the Gohonzon. And now, what Nichiren writes in this Gosho, he teaches us how Shakyamuni taught us how we are to gain faith. Now, in the Gosho, the real aspect of the Gohonzon reads, thus, the fourth volume of the Concentration and Insight states, quote, Buddhism is like an ocean that one can only enter with faith. The fourth volume of the Annotations on the Great Concentration and Insight explains this, quote, with regard to the phrase, Buddhism is like an ocean that one can only enter with faith. Even Confucius taught that faith is first and foremost. How much more so is this true of the profound doctrines of Buddhism? Without faith, how could one possibly enter? That is why the Flower Garden Sutra defines faith as the basis of the way and the mother of blessings. Unquote. It goes on further. The first volume of Concentration and Insight says, quote, how does one hear, believe in, and practice the perfect teachings to attain perfect enlightenment? It goes on further. The first volume on Concentration and Insight says, to believe in the perfect teachings means to awaken faith through doctrine and make faith the basis of practice. Unquote. See, the Buddha Shakyamuni teaches us to awaken faith through doctrine. By learning, studying the profound teachings of Buddhism, you awaken faith through doctrine. The one thing that we at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association stress is good friends and following the Lotus Sutra. Many have been taught to believe in a Japanese priest or an Asian or a Japanese leader, or these people got a special knowledge. Not so that Nichiren teaches. Now, in the Gosho called the 14 Slanders, it says, when one chants the Daimoku, Bear in mind that there are no distinctions among those who embrace the Lotus Sutra. Then the blessings one gains will be equal to those of Shakyamuni Buddha. A commentary states, quote, both beings and the environments of the Avachi hell exist entirely within the life of the high sage, that means Buddha, and what is more, the life of the environment, which is Buddha, never transcends common mortals. You see, so it does not matter who you are. There is no distinction between a priest and a non-priest, because the same, they asked him in the Go Show, what is the difference when a sage chants and we chant? And Nichiren said there's no difference. He said a gold that a fool possesses is the same gold that a Buddha possesses, or a fire that a Buddha possesses the same fire that a fool possesses. So it's no difference. It's only the intent. Now, let's bring this lecture to a conclusion. We're first giving you, those who want to know the Tina Chants way, we've given you a Gohonzon, and you can now learn to set up your altar. You can start to chant, and through us, we can help you learn and to develop your Buddhist faith and practice. Now, in the Go Show, the 14 slanders, it also reads, and we're going to conclude with this. It says, even an ignorant person can obtain blessings by serving someone who expounds the Lotus Sutra, no matter if he is a demon or an animal. If someone proclaims even a single verse or a phase of the Lotus Sutra, you must respect him as you would the Buddha. This is what the sutra means when it says, quote, you should rise and greet him from afar, showing him the same respect you would a Buddha, unquote. And it goes on further. You should respect one another as Shakyamuni and many treasures did in the ceremony in the Treasure Tower chapter. So we at the Proud Black Buddhists respect each other. We teach the Lotus Sutra, and the Buddha teaches us. If there's someone who teaches the Lotus Sutra, then you should respect them. We're just the Proud Black Buddhist World Association. We're humans. There's nothing wrong with being black, Buddhist, and proud. Black means culture. Black does not mean race. Culturally, we just want to exist to teach Buddhism the correct way. And we want to teach Buddhism that with an inclusion of our culture, of our history, and of our language. So, you got it. We taught you Buddhism the Tina Chants way. We are the Proud Black Buddhist World Association. I am Anthony F. Elmore.
Since I've joined NSA, I have changed my views of society, and I have rekindled my desire to attain the American dream.
Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way in which the karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo is the way. I found myself a brand new mission to help others make a big decision. Bring to you as spiritual religion. It's not the religion that you expect. It's only what the laws of cause and effect. Devotion to the middle of the call of teaching. We do a lot of wisdom preaching. No more life with any drama. We change the words and change our karma. We bring to you the new Buddha way. We bring to you the new way to pray. After long prayers, a lot of meditation, I bring to you the Buddhist conversation. We can change our human relations. We bring to you the culture integration. It's about peace and love and changing situation. This Turner and Buddhism makes a lot of sense. It's about self-development and enlightenment. I made the decision to join the Buddha way. I joined the Buddhist and called it as faith. Buddhism new to America and like a dream. What does the words of the China mean? The Function to the middle of the cultivated teaching. Different learning from a Christian preaching. Buddhism makes a lot of sense. Self-development with an enlightened man. Becoming a Buddhist is a good decision. Look at yourself and find the inner wisdom. The function to the middle of the cultivated teaching. While we only have Japanese preaching, the Buddhist religion is the way to go. I will find a leader in Tokyo. I want it to Buddha way. I should follow sensei. I no longer do it his way. Went to a temple called Taiseki. The cards of the temple don't relate to me. In 2014 I left the Buddhist temple. I teach the Buddhism, that's more simple. Nichiren Shonin said you don't have the knowledge. I want you to check my logic. The whole way I teach Buddhism, I give the people a good rhythm. I'm not like a priest at their temple. I teach Buddhism and make it simple. You don't need a college to explain it. Singing and dancing to hit it with the language. Function to the middle of the color of your teaching. We teach it with the wisdom preaching. We can teach the wisdom on it. We follow the Nichiren Shonin. Teach Buddhism and don't need a mouth. We know how to sing and rap. Let me bring some good news to ya. We practice the Lola Sutra. You don't have to practice here and after. Just do the 2nd and 16th chapter. You don't have a person be in Maria. Learn that Lola Sutra title. Myoho Renge Kyo. That's the way that you call my go. Myoho Renge Kyo. That's the way that you call my go. I don't care how the Japanese do it. I'm gonna put a little soul to it. I don't give a damn, don't agree. I practice the way that's really me. I respect and love ya. I'm gonna practice some Buddhism with my own culture. I know you hate my dance and all the jerking. You're really gonna be upset when I start my twerking. We don't follow the rules and we do no rehearsing. The Buddhists say follow the law and no persons. I don't care if a Buddhist practice don't suit you. We follow the law in the Lola Sutra. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo, it's the way to make your karma go. Myoho Renge Kyo.